Do you think friends and relatives are the best employees because they can be trusted? Today, let me share with you my proven and tested practices for hiring employees. As a business mentor, people ask me how they can trust employees who are not friends and relatives. Looking back on my 40 years in business, I had many painful experiences working with relatives and friends, but the worst one was hiring my goddaughter. Let's call her Dina. One day, Dina's mother, my kumare, came to me. Mirna, if you're looking for someone to help in your store, please consider Dina. And because she's someone I knew even as a baby, I thought she would be a good hire. And then one day, we found out that there were many pieces of bangles suddenly missing from the showcase. It was even Dina who reported about it during the daily store inventory check. Now, because there was no CCTV at that time, we didn't know who did it, so everybody was a suspect. So for a whole month, instead of focusing on selling, the 5-person sales team tensely watched each other, suspecting each other. And our sales went down day by day. So what did we do to clear things out? Well, we called the police to investigate, but they couldn't find anything. So to get it over with, we decided to hire a private detective. Our 5 employees agreed to take the lie detector test. Guess what? The results showed that it was Dina who stole the bangles. Now, she really denied it at first, but it was good that after I interrogated her for hours, she later confessed. And I was shocked. She said she did it because her boyfriend's motorcycle was going to be repossessed that day. Taking the jewelry and pawning them was the only way I could help him, she said. Now, what would you do when an employee steals from you? Will you ask her to return what she stole and ask her to resign? Most of my mentees told me they'd do that, but then what would the other employees think? By doing that, we're sending out the wrong message to those who did not steal. It's just like saying that it's okay for them to steal because all they needed to do was to just return what they stole and then just resign. What would you do, Mami Negosyo? My mentees would ask me. Well, if there's theft, we'd be willing to spend money to put the person in prison, even if we have to spend more than the value of the stolen items. It's no longer about the offender. It's to warn the other employees. We understand employees also have financial problems, but stealing is never an option. So what happened to Dina? Because of the generations of friendships our family had with hers, we couldn't file a case against her. All we could do was to ask her to resign. I don't know what Dina told her mother, but all I know is that my kumare believed her daughter and she just stopped talking to me. I never saw her again ever since. That wasn't a good experience, right? Did that stop me from hiring people I personally know? Actually, I still hired relatives after that. The good news is none of them stole from us. However, because we're related, they had this feeling of entitlement. They caused so many problems with the rest of the employees. So, to have peace in the workplace, we had to go through the difficult process of firing them one by one. They would know why they were fired because I would talk to them. But when they go home, they'd manufacture lies to protect themselves and tell their parents how we maltreated them. Now, this caused a gap between our relatives and my own family. When relatives worked for us, they only saw the sales money that was coming in. This gave them the wrong impression that we're rich. They didn't see our expenses. They didn't know how we struggled to keep the business running and how to make ends meet. So now you know. Even when relatives and friends can be trusted with money, they may not be trustworthy in telling the truth when they misbehave. Therefore, avoid losing your friends and relatives. How? Changing your mindset about partnering or hiring relatives and friends is a good start. That's what Robert Kiyosaki said in one of his interviews. If you want to be successful, carefully choose your business partners. At the end of the day, the person who chooses his or her team the wisest is the person who will win. After all those experiences, I decided to hire strangers instead. Some of them have already been working for us for about 40 years now. And so, for my business tips, here are my hiring recommendations. Number 1, it's a red flag when people you know come to you with their children to apply for a job. If someone doesn't have the initiative to apply for work, then don't expect this person to have the initiative at work. Number 2, Look for people you don't personally know so you can evaluate them more objectively. Number 3, clarify the relationship during the hiring process. Sometimes friends and relatives are indeed a good fit for the job. In those exceptional and very rare cases, I'd tell them that I'm hiring them because they're qualified and not because they're relatives. So I'd ask them upfront if it's okay that I'll be stricter with them. I'd hire them only if they agree to the stricter terms and conditions I set. Number 4, put up systems and processes as well as a succession plan. These will help you run your business without being left in the dark when an employee leaves. Now, would you hire a friend or family member or not? As long as you have your systems and processes in place and with the proper training, a stranger can become one of your most trusted and loyal employees. See you in the next video. Bye!